Once upon a time there lived a woodcutter and his wife. Their early days were lived in bliss in a small wood cottage with their 2 children, Hansel and Gretel. These children grew up to be wise beyond their years. Hansel was smart and charming, where Gretel was cautious but quick-witted. The 2 children loved to skip stones in the lake half a mile over. Hansel and Gretel spent most of their time finding the perfect, flattest skipping stones. Their collection of stones was large, as they spent more time collecting than actually skipping the rocks. Over time, they had acquired a strange companion, a bird who would steal their stones and hide them in various places all over the land, though Hansel and Gretel knew not why. At the peak of their childhood, a great famine struck the country where Hansel and Gretel lived. It left the rich secluded from the middling and poor classes. The merchant class fought to survive, and the poorest of the poor plummeted into utter starvation. The woodcutter and his wife, along with Hansel and Gretel, eventually struggled to stay fed. The reoccurring moments of starvation gradually caused the woodcutter's wife to go insane. One evening, after Hansel and Gretel had been tucked into bed, the woman approached her husband. "We must survive the upcoming winter. We must," she started. "We cannot feed everyone in this small house. We cannot." "Well, what are we to do?" the woodcutter asked. "We must leave the children alone in the wooded forest. That way we only have to feed ourselves," she replied. "If we leave them there, they will surely starve," he cried. "And if we keep them here, we will all surely starve," she replied. Little did the woodcutter and his wife know, but the children, Hansel and Gretel, had been listening to their whole conversation. "Our mother does not want us any more," Gretel wailed. "Shh, Gretel. Father will not allow her to get rid of us," Hansel replied, attempting to calm Gretel down. "Oh, but what will Father do once we are left alone with our mad mother?" Gretel asked. "I will protect you," he replied. Now, Hansel was very smart. His plans of action were always calculated and efficient. The next day, before they were ordered to start on the household chores, Hansel ran half a mile down to the lake. He gathered dozens of skipping stones. When he returned home, Hansel could see that his mother and sister were packing up for what looked like a normal journey into the woods, though Hansel knew that this time their mother had different plans for them. He held his sack of skipping stones tight as he approached his mother. "Times are tough, my dear children. We must venture into the forest to help your father with his work," she declared. "But," both children started. "No buts," their mother scolded. And so Hansel, Gretel, and their mother journeyed into the thick wooded forest. It was as eerie as thick fog on a stormy night. The sky was a dark gray, and the trees were black and gloomy. Luckily, Hansel had remembered to drop shimmering stones on the ground every few feet, so that they could follow them back on their return home. "Hansel, what is that you think you're up to?" their mother shouted impatiently. "Mother, mother, look at those squirrels in the tree. I swear they are dancing as if they are fit for the ball," Gretel called, using her quick wit in order to distract their mother. Gretel knew exactly what Hansel was up to. "Where? I see no squirrels. I see no dancing," their mother exclaimed, now confused and distracted, giving Hansel time to catch up. "Oh, hurry on up. We only need to travel a little bit further," their mother grumbled. "Where are we going, Mother?" Hansel asked. With no response, the children's worst nightmares were confirmed. Their mother was going to leave them in the forest. Hansel dropped another rock. They traveled for a while, Hansel occasionally dropping stones, until they reached a small clearing. Their mad mother ordered Hansel and Gretel to sit on a dead log. "I am going to gather wood. Stay here, and I will come back for you shortly," she lied. The children stayed seated reluctantly. They waited and waited and waited, but their mother never returned for them.